Peace and blessings, and welcome back to the Heritage Hip Hop Podcast. This episode is brought to you by heritagehiphop.com, where we showcase your future favorite artists to you today. Not only do we celebrate mainstream hip hop, but we highlight independent artists, domestic and international, starting from the great state of New Jersey. If you're looking to be showcased, profiled, and to celebrate hip hop in its full form, go to heritagehiphop.com. Become a member and get free music and other benefits. This episode is sponsored by Transparent Credit Repair, the superheroes of the financial literacy and credit repair world. Change your life with one decision, and that one decision is filling out an application to change your credit score. Decide to fix your life by opening your wallet to receive money instead of paying out debt. To do such, go to www.heritagehiphop.com and click on the link for Transparent Credit Repair. Everyone who gets services through Heritage Hip Hop gets 20% off when they go to Transparent Credit Repair. So once again, go to our website, www.heritagehiphop.com. Click on the link for Transparent Credit Repair and change your life with that one decision. On this episode of the Heritage Hip Hop Podcast, we talk to Laura Simmons, an accomplished author who writes not only about life, love, and motherhood, but she has a goal to heal the black community by talking about what it is to be a woman and how to save young men from a society that hates them and teaches them horror and self-hatred. Tune into this episode and this interview because this is very special, very detailed, and very poignant. And I will come back with the rest of my commentary when this interview has finished.
Peace and blessings, and welcome back to the Heritage Hip Hop Podcast. As you know, we highlight hip hop because hip hop is not music. Hip hop is really God, and God gave us a voice to tell our stories. And I have somebody tonight who's not only telling the world her story, but she's making the world reflect and become their better selves. Please introduce yourself to everyone.
My name is Laura Simmons. I am an author and motivational speaker.
Well, thank you for coming to Heritage Hip Hop.
Oh, thank you for having me.
Oh, no problem. One of our taglines is that we're more than music. And as I always say, hip hop is a story. And the people we can relate to are the people whose story we can feel. Tell us about your story. Where are you from? And let's start from there. Where are you from?
I'm from the south side of Chicago.
Okay.
And you mind if I say anything else?
Go ahead. You can say it's your truth.
Okay. Yeah, I'm originally from the south side of Chicago. I'm married. I have 2 children and 2 grandbabies.
Congratulations.
I'm a writer. Thank you. I'm an author, a motivational speaker, and I'm a playwright.
Okay. That's dope. Chicago is one of the most strongest cities in American history, you know, and when you look at the history of Chicago, whether you go from prohibition to policing, the Black Panthers, disciples, corrupt politics, even basketball, the story of our people have come from that geographical spot in America is one of strength and one of loss. What is the voice of Chicago today, and how do you want to highlight it?
The voice of Chicago right now, I want to say is we need help. We really need help. There's so much killing going on here, and I'm sure it's going on around the world, but I can only speak for where I'm at, you know, and it's so much killing, and it just, we just need to talk to our young people because they have no codes whatsoever.
That is the key, what you said, hope. That is the key to what prolongs our story. Whether we talk about being from a place and taken to a place, slavery to politics and all that. Hope is the one thing that we always held on to, that always gave us the idea of something better to come. What has fueled your hope throughout life and into your creativity?
Um, well, one of the things that few need was my parents. A lot of things that they have instilled in me, I took them to heart, and I've just been carrying them out ever since. I lost both of my parents. They're both gone now, but I'm sure they're watching me, and I'm sure they're proud of what they're seeing because I'm speaking for them now.
I respect that. Because I remember being a younger man, and I was going to church at the time, and an elder gentleman told me, young man, I apologize to you. And this wasn't even in church. This was on the street. And I said, why do you apologize to me? He said, because my generation dropped the ball. He said, instead of us teaching y'all and refining within you hope, religion, or spirituality and education, and he talking about himself, he's like, as a man, we went to jail and left the family to suffer. And a lot of your voices are not being heard. I want to ask you, being a writer and living in a world that needs hope, how do you find the voice of the people in need, and how do you reflect it?
How do I find the voice? The voice is actually within me, honestly. And how do I reflect it? I reflect it by doing what I'm doing, actually. I'm speaking in schools. I'm trying to talk to as many young folks as I possibly can. And I don't stop there. I don't stop at just the young folks. I talk to anybody that is willing to listen. And I try to help as many people as I possibly can.
I like
so
that
I'm
you
not
say that.
I'm not just a talker. I'm a doer as well.
Oh yeah, be doers of the word. Yeah, of course. I respect that. Because a lot of people always say that the younger generation does not want to listen, or they're so disrespectful. Well, I think it's not necessarily the truth. I think the younger generation is crying for help, but they want to know that you're being legit and transparent with your help and not with an ulterior motive, you know?
Yep.
I feel that that's what makes the music and the written word so powerful, because a story can take you inside of yourself and into another world at the same time.
Exactly.
Tell me about the world and how you portray it within your writing.
Okay, so in the books that I just recently wrote, I mentioned to on the back of my book, I mentioned to them, we need to guide our little sisters and we need to guide our little brothers. And when I say that, I'm saying that because I see so many things that we as a people, period, that we can do to help them. We can help guide them, help show them how powerful they really are. And as young ladies, I don't really think the young ladies today really know the power of a woman. I don't think they really know it because, you know, somebody said something to me a long time ago, and that stuck with me for years. A young man was telling me about how he was trying to be cool and this and that. And he said that he was trying to be like all the other fellas, and a young lady told him that she said, you know, I used to like you because she said you were different. You was not trying to follow other people, you know, the other fellas. You was doing your own thing and you was being your own person. And he said that when she said that, he felt so little because he thought that by him acting like the other guys, that would catch her attention. But it didn't. It didn't catch her attention. So what he said was that because of what she said, it changed the way he started thinking. And that's why I'm saying women have more power than they know. You know, we can change so many things if we put our best foot forward. We can do it. It can be done.
I believe that too, because even when you look at the power of a queen, a king has rulership, but a queen has dominion. You know, it's like one of those things. It's those unspoken rules that was given to us yet taken with Western colonization and forced political Christianity. I'll put it that way.
Mm-hmm.
Because when a woman is born, not only is the proceeding of life given form, because women bring life, through the womb, you know what I'm saying? A generation story begins again because you have rebirth. You see what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And unfortunately, through, like I said, colonialism, racism, institutionalism, and PTSD, post-traumatic slavery disorder, our inner city communities suffer from lack of identity. And I think that's where most of the pain comes from. What do you think?
Yep. I think that is absolutely right. That the pain comes from those different things. And and we have the power to help, but the problem is everybody don't want to help. See, when I grew up, it was we were a community that looked out for each other.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody knew everybody.
Mm-hmm.
Our neighbors was just like Miss Jones down the street was just like Mama, because
Mm-hmm.
she guess what? She see me doing something wrong, I'm in trouble.
Mm-hmm.
Either way, I'm in trouble. If whatever, she know where Mama at. She know how to get to Mama, and she know how to go down there and tell Mama what happened. And now you in trouble with Miss Jones and Mama, and so it's lost now. It's not that way now. It's so sad. It's just looking at you can barely say anything to some young people. Now you got some young people that will listen to you, but it's how you present it to them.
Mm-hmm.
And in order for you to present something to them, you have to have been down that same road that they're going down. You have to have experienced it. Because you can't teach no one anything that you have not experienced. So, and that's the way I look at life. You got a lot of, we lost a lot of our greats though. A lot of our older grandmothers and older grandfathers, the ones that used to sit on the front porch and tell you about, baby, I remember when we used to eat sugar canes, and things like that. And we lost a lot of that because you got a lot of grandpas and grandmas trying to be hip like their kids, like the young people now, wearing the pants sagging and everything else. And it's sad. It's sad we lost.
It's not that we lost. I think a lot of it's been taken because, let's have some fun. You're talking about, I don't know how old you are, and I'm not guessing. You don't have to tell. But from what you're talking about a strong family unit.
Mm-hmm.
The 70s and 80s destroyed the family, especially when the inner city was turned into the war on drugs, which is really the war on the black community.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, we have so many young men chasing the money because money is what gives a man power, especially in Western civilization.
Exactly.
That now the family morals are going to die because with this money, I could get that girl. You mean with this money, I could drive that car? You mean with this money, I have a status?
I could have this house. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And I could go here and do what? And just like many evils, the more you open the door, the more evils that can come in. We've seen a lot of our people, male and female, fall to the want. And also we've seen the community fall to jealousy, envy, and hatred because of it.
Yeah.
So that's why your books are so important, because not only are we talking to anyone, whether they're younger or older, because your books are for everybody, not only are we talking and giving them the story, we're also giving them a chance to think. And that's where I think a lot of people fail our youth. How powerful is the mind, and why should we foster the mind of the youth?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But What did you say?
I didn't know you were asking me that question, but I'm sorry. But
It's all right.
I think that if we work with them more, I think they'll listen. I think that, honestly, I think that we can get through to a lot of them if we tried. Because I know from experience myself, I remember this young lady used to always, every time she would come into the store, she would wave at me. I speak, she waved. So one day, I just pulled the young lady to the side, and I said, I told her, I said, you know, it's so impolite when someone speaks to you for you to just wave at them. I said, it's so impolite. And she said, huh? She said, I'm speaking. I said, no, you're not speaking. You're waving. I said, there's a difference between the two. I could see if I waved at you, then I expect you to wave back at me. But if I spoke to you, that means you could speak back. Speaking to someone is free. They used to do it back when I was growing up all the time. You think about it. Now, you see Miss Jones or Miss Linda sitting on the porch or whatever, guess what? They're going to speak to you. They don't even have to know you. They're going to speak to you. And we just got so far away from that. We just have work to do. That's all. We have some work to do.
Part of the revelation of the work is selflessness. And as we stated earlier, a lot of jealousy, envy, and hatred has killed the selflessness and made people more selfish, you know? And part of giving up selfishness is living for a dream, a goal, or something like a passion. I want to ask you something. I ask a lot of men this. I want to ask you as a woman. You knew the world was hard when you grew up. You encountered prejudice and evils and hatreds and jealousies and all that. You've encountered that. How did the world become that much more transparent when you became a mom?
I would say because now I feel like I have to protect my children. You know, I'm that mama bear that I have to protect my cubs. So in order for me to protect my cubs, I have to be able to see what's going on around us. In order for me to protect them, I have to know what's going on. And I think that's one of the reasons why I'm the way I am now with my children. And sometimes my children say to me now, Mom, you're too overprotective. But I don't think my kids understand that we live in a world now where it's, you know, it was always like that growing up, but we just probably, I didn't notice it as much because my mom and my dad, they were the protectors and they were watching over me. So now it's my turn because these are my babies. I gave birth to them. And it's like it's a hard to explain it because it's like it's a connection there that that you have to experience in order for you to actually feel what I feel. I mean, it's like I can't even go into the way I feel. It's so hard to explain it. How I feel when it comes to my children. It's different. The world looks different now. It's through a different lens now to me. So because of my children are here. But before it was like I didn't pay attention to any of those things because I was a kid. You know, right. I was a kid and mom and dad they looked out for those things, so I didn't have to. But now that I have my own children, now I notice everything. I watch everything. My grandbabies, I watch everything, and I notice everything. So,
see, part of that gift that I see as a parent and a creator is now you have a broader message out of your funnel of life. Because as the funnel, see, a lot of us think the funnel gets smaller as we get more experience in life. Actually, the funnel gets more bigger because now you see the forest. You're not only focusing on the one tree, which is yourself. You see what I'm saying? And with that perspective, you have a book that I want to focus on called Little Brothers Hear Me Out. What did you want the little brothers to hear? And why was book form the best way to get your message out?
Okay, so I actually do speaking too. I actually go into some of the schools and I speak as well. But I wanted to try and get my books to as many children, young people as I possibly could. So I figured if I did it in book form, maybe the schools will have it as part of their curriculum. So that was the reason for the book. So what I did was to get it across so I can get it across to all kids, all the young men, all the young ladies. Because you get a lot of people that say, "Oh, well, I don't read. I don't like to read," or whatever the case may be. So what I'm doing is I took and had the books put into audio. So now you have no excuse. If you can blast Lil Wayne's music in your car, you can blast the book in your car and listen to it. So, and the reason for the book is I wanted to share lots of valuable information that will help guide our young men and our young ladies. I wanted them to know that it's okay to talk to mom or dad, and in some cases you might find kids that don't even have no relationship with their parents. I just want them to know that there are other people that you can reach out to and talk to help you, because a lot of times our young people they be dealing with bullying. They be dealing with that peer pressure. They be dealing with trying to fit in with a certain crowd of people. They be dealing with choices in life, trying to make a decision as to if this is the right path I should try or should I try that path, and things like that. So I just wanted to give them a little insight because basically my book is the books, Little Brother Hear Me Out and Little Sisters Listen Up. Those books are basically mentors in a book. It's a mentor in a book, yeah.
What age ranges were those books written for?
10 to 18 years of age. And it's so funny. This is something funny that happened to me just recently, too. I was talking to a young lady about my book, and I was telling her about Little Sisters Listen Up. So when I broke it down to her about what the book was about, she said, "Wow, that's deep," because you know what? She said, the funny thing is, when I was growing up, a lot of stuff, I did not learn that from my mom. I learned it from strangers. She said, my mom would just tell me, in time you'll learn, but right now it's not the time to learn it. Right. Like the young lady cycle, when they get a cycle, they're some young ladies don't know what to do in that situation. They lost because no one took the time to sit down to talk to them, explain to them that you must keep yourself clean and things like that. And while you're going through this, and a lot of young ladies don't know that because no one took that time to talk to them. And that's what she was saying when she was, as I was telling her about the book, and she was like, "Wow." She said, I wish that book was around when I was growing up. I said, well, my thing was to help as many young people as I possibly can because I have a story myself. I said, and I wanted them to know what it was like for me as a 13-year-old girl on the south side of Chicago, dealing with so many different things, the peer pressure, your friends going to parties, and I wasn't allowed to go to parties because my parents didn't play that. I'm the ninth child of 10. So, they didn't play that. My older brothers and sisters, they didn't play it. So it was like, it's a lot. It's a lot, a lot of different things that my book touches on, it touches on the way our young men dress and our young ladies dress is dress to impress, not, you don't have to have on a pair of, fancy, expensive Nike gym shoes to impress, impress someone. Like I said, I'm the nice child of 10. So guess what? My clothing line was not fancy because we didn't have it like that. And so I just want them to know that it's not all about how you're dressing. If you ever take a look at some of our other people, the other nationalities and stuff, look at them. Look how some of those young people, they don't care about what they wear. But guess what? I guarantee you their savings accounts are pretty good. They got nice little cushy savings accounts. And it's because they don't care about the fancy shoes or the fancy clothes. I got to have everything that got some name brand on it. I can't even begin to tell you anything about name brand because I've never been that type of person. I was not raised that way. As long as I got a pair of pants and they clean and a nice clean shirt and some nice clean shoes, I'm good. And so that's why
that's the thing to talk about because, like I said, in the hip hop generation, unfortunately, PTSD, post-traumatic slave disorder, trauma, being a slave and not having turned into wanting the best at all times to look the best, And I mean that has been the guiding force since How to Sell to a Negro came out in the 1940s and 50s. You know what I'm saying? And it's been used against us for decades, and people from other countries who come here, they may not understand that. Even us, we hold it against ourselves, but that's something that I think goes into a self-worth type of, a self-worth lesson. Because I can say, by understanding what you're saying, as a man myself, if I could do a lot of things over again, I would. Because there were a lot of things I was never taught. And you know what? To be honest with you, these are conversations I've had with some of my best friends that we always look at our lives in retrospect now that we're getting older and we say, you know what? Nobody ever taught me about this. Nobody ever showed me that. Nobody ever explained anything to me. And a lot of us have had siblings. So we either learn by our siblings' mistakes or we learn by bumping our head and not having a mentor or guidance. What do you think in your opinion? How much difference does a mentor make to someone rather than someone not having a mentor at all?
Oh, wow. A mentor, it makes a big difference. It makes a very big difference. I have a bunch of mentors that I look up to and I ask questions when I don't understand because, it's always good to ask questions. No question is stupid. None. I remember I was 16 years old. I had started working. And this is so funny. This is why I'm so on. This is like really a touchy situation to me. This whole conversation is really touchy to me because I think about my experiences. And I remember I was 16 years old, and I had got my first job. And I remember I had went to the bank. One of my friends, which was Caucasian, she showed me how to open up my first savings account. I opened my first savings and checking account. And I remember they gave me some checks. And I remember going to the store, and I never wrote a check before. And I was so confused standing up there. And it was a Caucasian lady at the counter, and she was the one who explained to me how to write a check. And it made me feel little because the fact that I didn't know. But as I look around and I say to myself, I notice things that people should know how to do. You would think they would know how to do it. They don't know. They don't know either. Because I'm looking at, I was just recently at the post office, and this young man, he had to be like in his 20s, and he was in the post office. He didn't know how to address an envelope.
Interesting.
Yes. And I was like, okay, so I don't feel as bad because I was 16 years old when that happened to me, because I didn't know how to write a check. I didn't know how to write the check, and I felt so bad because this was all new to me, but I couldn't deem myself for it because my parents didn't teach it to me. How could they teach me when they didn't even know? So so sometimes the mentor can teach you things that maybe your parents can't teach you. So it's very important to have a mentor. Anytime I have a problem or something I'm not understanding or I'm stuck in the road with something, I'll pick up the phone and call one of my mentors, and they'll tell me, oh, you need to do so and so, or this and that, and there's nothing wrong with it. I'm well over my 40s, but I still ask questions.
Asking questions is the key to learning. And a lot of people are too proud to ask questions. So that's why I love doing Heritage Hip Hop. And the reason why I do this is because I believe everybody has a right to tell their story. Everybody has a right to be heard, you know? I'm an educator by trade, so I believe everybody has a right to teach, and everybody has a right to learn, and a right to be taught, which is forgotten. So a lot of people think you go to school and they think you're supposed to be taught, and a lot of people are only doing is instructing. There's not a lot of learning going on. And life is the biggest teacher, and experience is the book that never closes, you know?
Yep.
And from experiences even to books now, as an accomplished author, I want to give you a lot of respect and credit because I'm trying to write a book, and it's the hardest thing in the world because you have so much to say. And you got to put it in a way that makes people understand you. So as an author, let me ask you a question. What was the hardest part about being an author? Whether it's in the beginning or even starting a new project. What is the hardest part to you, and how do you overcome it?
The hardest part for me was the publishing part. The publishing part, and the reason why I say the publishing part was because when I was new to it, when I was new to writing, and I went to a publishing company, I didn't know half the rules. I didn't know none of the rules or anything. I was just like completely going into it with my eyes closed. And what I learned was that when I published through the publishing company, I learned that they had more power over my book than I did. Yeah. So when I got ready to, and how I found out was I got ready to change the price on my book. I wanted to drop the price down for a special. I wanted to do a special. And so I went into the system trying to change it, but it wouldn't let me. So I called the publishing company to ask them a question. How do I change the price? Oh, the lady said, oh, you have to, we have to change it for you. And she said, but you have to pay a fee to change it. I said, hold it, wait a minute, I'm lost. I said, I got to pay you a fee to change my book, the price on my book. And she said, yes. And she said, and then when you get ready to change it back to the regular price, you got to pay another fee. I said, hold it, wait a minute. So I'm paying you. I said, first of all, I paid you to help me publish my book. Then I'm paying you for anything that I want, any changes I want to make to my book. I have to pay you to do it. And she said, yeah. So you know what I did? I got on the computer. I started researching things. I started learning more about the process of publishing my own books. And I have not went back to a publishing company since. I did 3 of my books through a publishing company, and the rest I've self-published. And I have a total of 10 books.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Independent creativity is the key to hip-hop right now because everybody doesn't want to get on the label. They want to do everything themselves. What is the joy of being able to put out your voice, your message, and your story on your own terms as an author as opposed to somebody telling you what to do, as you said?
Wow. It is an awesome feeling. because now, now I know that I can do anything, and I can take and create anything if I want to now. It just gave me that power. That's the power it gave me. It gave me the power to know that I am capable of doing anything. So, yeah, that's basically it.
That's amazing. Can you tell me about the mother-daughter team and what exactly that is?
Okay, the mother-daughter team is my daughter and I. We started the mother-daughter team about, I want to say, it's been 11 years. We've been writing for 11 years. And it's, and what we do is we write books together and we get them published. We do the publishing and everything. We speak at the events. We do, book, shows and different things like that. And that's the mother-daughter team. That's my daughter and I.
What is the joy of being able to see your child create with you and you can build something together for the world to enjoy?
Oh, wow. It is an amazing feeling. And she and I, we just laugh at when we write together, we laugh a lot because we kick things off each other and it's just so funny because you just look at this little person. I'm looking at this little person that I gave birth to, and now we're working together as a team. It's an awesome feeling. It's an awesome feeling.
That's the one thing I think most parents today don't understand. When you do something with your child, those memories are what's going to fuel the generations to come because there's going to be stories and things handed down throughout the generations that speak of family togetherness and the joy of having a relationship. You agree?
Yeah. I sure do. Because you know what? The one thing I said, I always say, we always say together that it helps build the relationship. It helps. It's like, because you both are growing together. You're growing in something. You're doing something together and you're both growing at it. Because we both are learning the business of, we both learned the business of publishing a book together. It was a process for both of us. My daughter was 7 years old when we got started. My daughter is now 18. So, yeah, it's a process. It was a process, but we learned that she could tell you some stuff about in the publishing business. And it's so funny, when I look at her, I just sit there and I watch and see how she's going to answer the questions that somebody may ask her about publishing and this and that. Because you get people that try to test her. And so she'd be like, oh, you got to do so-and-so, this and that. And I'm like, wow. It's so amazing because it's like, wow, she really did pay attention to the process.
That's great. I respect everything that you said, and I want you to give everybody your social media, your websites, and everything so they can purchase your books and find you for any other questions I may have missed so they want to know more about you.
Okay. So my books can be found on www.motherdaughterteambooks.com. And you can also purchase them on Amazon.com. Our website, our Facebook page is The Mother Daughter Team. Instagram is Mother Daughter Team LLC. And we have a YouTube channel, which is also it's under Laura Simmons, and that's about it.
That is only the beginning. And everybody out there on Heritage Hip Hop, we always tell people when it comes to music, do not stream. Stream is for marketing. Make sure you buy, because when you buy your music, you own it. I would feel the same way for books. Go to the website and purchase her books instead of going to Amazon, because Amazon will probably want to cut because they're doing something with it. But if you buy directly from the person who's a creator, not only do you fully show your support for them, but you show that the love and the appreciation of the art is given and felt. So please help appreciate them by spending the money to buy the art. You agree?
I agree.
All right. So with that being said, I would like to do some rapid fire questions with you. Do you mind? You'd like to play this game with me?
No. Okay, go ahead.
Okay. The rapid fire questions are not yes, no questions. They're questions that talk about your field, you as a person, and your understanding of life. Now, being that I'm a hip hop show, once again, I don't believe hip hop is music. I believe it's a part of hip hop. I want to talk to you about inspirations and things that have maybe affected you through your journey. All right, you ready to go?
Okay, go ahead.
What's the one book that you read that made you feel like you were in the book, not reading the book?
One book that I read. Mm.
You never been asked that question before, huh?
No.
Okay.
You got me.
All right.
Can we come back to it?
Yes, we can. Yes, we
really
can.
think about that one, yeah.
Prose, narrative, all come together when we talk about a person's story. Is there a story that you read that made you look and reflect on your own life to conquer something that you've seen in a book?
Is there a story that I read that is something similar
That
to
inspired
my
you
life?
to conquer something in your own life based on the story that you read?
Mm, No, and you know what? Only story that I think was close to something, that I felt was close to my life, and that was Raising in the Sun.
That's a
And the
very good book.
reason, yeah, it was. And the reason why I say that is because the young man reminded me of myself and how headstrong I was growing up. And yeah, because my mom used to always say that too, that I was the one of her, the one child of hers that was very headstrong. And I always seen things bigger. I wanted bigger. I always have been that way. And I still dream big. I want more. I want to reach for more, and that was the one book that I would say that kind of fits my life.
You were the youngest, weren't you?
Yeah. Youngest girl. I have a brother that was younger than me.
Oh, okay. Youngest girl, I got you. That's very, very interesting. Have you traveled and toured with your book?
Not yet. The plan was to do that this year, but when COVID decided to...
Yeah, COVID
it
changed the
messed
world.
up a lot of stuff, yes, because I had a stage play ready to go and everything, and it changed all of that.
Yeah, shout out to Bill Gates. He was destroying the world. So,
Yeah.
right. So, so you never toured any other cities at all in any of your books?
I did I did travel to Atlanta, and I did go to different stores and talk to different people about my book in Atlanta. But my plan was to set up a tour for my books, and that was the plan. But when all of this stuff happened, it changed everything.
Okay.
Because I was trying to wait till my daughter got out of high school.
Okay. So my question is basically based on that. Pain is the one thing that unifies our people and our story. But there's different aspects of pain that are highlighted in different geographical regions. Between Chicago and Atlanta, what are the things that are different and what are the things that are similar that your books help and highlight?
Well, what's the difference between... To me, Atlanta was a little slower than Chicago. For one thing, because to me, Chicago is a fast-paced city, and I think, well, they both had a lot of homeless because when I was there in Atlanta, I seen so many homeless people. Mm, they just,
So homelessness was the one thing you saw that was similar
yeah, it was
between them?
that was the similar thing between the two of them. They had a lot of homeless just like we did. Shelterville's was a little different than ours. They don't allow you to sleep out like they did the way they were in Atlanta, though. In Chicago, they don't allow that. I've seen so many people. I mean, it was just so sad how many people I was seeing laying on the ground, and I don't know if that was the downtown area of Atlanta or what, but it was like really, really, really a lot of people. But someone told me that you visit. Someone told me that if I visit California, I'll see the same thing.
Yeah, I was told that too. Yeah.
Mhm. Never been there, but that's always been somewhere I wanted to go.
You will get there. I promise you.
Mm-hmm.
You put out in the world, we pray that it happens. Now hope we'll make it happen. All right?
Yeah.
I would love for you to come to Newark, New Jersey. I would love for you to come to Newark, New Jersey. I would love for you to go to the source of knowledge. That's our black-owned bookstore, and I would love for you to meet the people there. Because I think the most important thing about an author is the tour. Because talking about the book is one thing, but sharing the revelation of knowledge is another thing.
Mm-hmm.
From talking to people who have read your book or who experienced part of your book, what is the most refreshing thing you've heard from somebody who's read your book or your work?
I had like some young ladies that sent me an email, and the emails they were telling me that they truly appreciate, and these were older women, and they said that they were giving the books to their nieces, but they end up keeping it for themselves, and they end up buying another one to give to their niece, and because they said that the book not only touched on topics for just young people, it touched on topics for elder people as well. You know, they were saying that because, you know, in our world, we, even as adults, we go through bullying. We still go through bullying. You know, think about it. You go to a job. Yeah, when you go to your job, what happens? If somebody don't like you, guess what? They got a little group there that want to bother you. So it's, you know, and so they were saying to me that they really enjoyed my book because of they were saying that it touched so many things, and they liked the fact that I even mentioned in my book I had a prayer in there that I had put in the book for the world, period, all my people. And it was like they thought that was really a really good idea because of the fact that it just lets you know that I'm spiritual as well, and that's what they were saying. But they told me they really enjoyed it, and as a matter of fact, I got a lot of young ladies that was telling me how much they enjoyed the book.
That's what's up. I have two more questions, and then we're gonna close tonight. My one question before we close is this: family is one of the missing arts in the world. So is age. It's an old saying that says when the elder dies in a village, it's the same as a library being burned. And the written word and the spoken word are the two things that keep our generations, our community, and our people alive. Do you feel with the age of electronics and technology taking over that the written word is becoming an afterthought?
Yeah, I do.
So
I truly believe it.
So then how do we preserve it to make sure our people know that reading the book is more important than watching the screen.
And my thing was that was the reason why I went to audio, because I found that a lot of people find it hard to sit down and actually read. You don't find as many people reading like they used to. And so I said, well, if I could get my book in one person's hand, and that person may be the right person's hands, then I did something. And so I said, well, you know what? If I can't get them to read, they could at least listen. So I went and I decided to do them as audio. That's the reason why I did them as audio, because I know that it's hard to get our people to read, our young people to read now. The games got them so tied up in the mind with all they want to do is watch these games, and all those games does is they show a lot of killing in those games.
Yeah.
I never played the games, but someone was telling me what it does, what the games are about. And so I figure if I got it in audio, guess what? They could put that CD into that into the little game thing, because some of those game systems, I think you can play a CD in there, just a regular CD. I'm not sure, but I'm just saying what I thought, that you can actually use it. You can actually put a CD in there to listen to the CD just like you play those games. So
right. So before we close out, do you want to revisit that question about you in the story?
Not really, because I can't think of one. I
you
can't
tapped
think
out.
of one right now. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. Well, we'll finish it off with this question. This is the most important question I asked from the first interview. So if there's another book that you have coming out or something that you want to talk about, please feel free to contact Heritage Hip Hop, and we will, as long as you have a story, we'll highlight it. We don't believe in, you got to be a millionaire to be on our show. We believe that everyone has a right to tell their story, and our microphone is a platform that we give you to do such. So the door is always open to you, all right?
All right. Thank you.
No problem. So the most important question after the first interview is this. 500 years from now, your books are going to be in the Library of Congress. You're going to be forever immortalized as a person who changed life and affected history. You made better outcomes for people, And I want to ask you, 500 years from now, when people read your stuff, your books, your art, what is the legacy that you leave behind that made the world a better place because you are an author?
I would say that I gave them a little piece of my experience, and I hope that it will open eyes and prepare them for what's to come, because there's a lot more to come than what they that they think it's going to be. It's more. It's so much that's going on in our world right now that we live in, and I'm hoping that our world still be standing. Honestly, in 500 years, I'm hoping that those books will be there 500 years from now. So, I would think that my legacy would be, empowering our youth. Empowering our youth.
Empower comes from creativity. So thank you for being creative.
Thank you.
And with that being said, everybody, thank you for listening to this episode of the Heritage Hip Hop Podcast. We are with Ms. Laura Simmons. Make sure you check out the Mother Daughter Team LLC on Instagram. Make sure you buy them books. And guess what? She got a new book coming. So make sure you get all of them. We want all 11 books in your house. All right? And with that being said, this is Karev saying peace, and we out.
Laura Simmons came to the platform to talk about healing and unity. She talks about what it is to be a lady and to grow into a woman and inspire young women to come behind her. She also has a book out where she wants the young men to listen because our community is in shambles. We have young rappers dying weekly, unfortunately. We have people dying to coronavirus, unfortunately. We have people who are losing their lives, unfortunately, to a lot of different things going on in this society, in this community, in our country, and in our world, that someone needs to sound the alarm. So shout out to Laura Simmons, her daughter, and the Mother-Daughter Team, LLC, for putting books out to spread the knowledge of love, commitment, and honor to life for our people all over the place. Make sure you go to her website or Amazon if you choose and buy the books. Share them with your young ones. Get the knowledge yourself and teach. And that's what we're called to do. Once again, thank you for supporting Heritage Hip Hop. We ask that you support us on all platforms. Follow us on YouTube. When we get to 1,000 subscribers, we'll be giving away a PS5. Stay tuned. You can follow our website, www.heritagehiphop.com. Make sure you become a member because membership has its privileges and its benefits. Follow us on Instagram, Twitter, and you can listen to the podcast on Spotify, Apple Music, iTunes, and wherever you stream your podcast. So we're out there. All you gotta do is look for us, and we ask that you support. I'd like to give a shout out to everybody that makes this possible. Shout out to BQ of Fatty's Place, Michael Bradley of Transparent Credit Repair, Fire Jaws of Wildfire Marketing, Lex Diamonds of Diamonds LLC, Diamonds Entertainment LLC, and also Goodfellas TV, our partner station, GOODFELAZTV.com, where I'm on the show The Recap, which is a show weekly that talks about things that go on during the week, current events. We also like to give a shout out to everybody who watches Heritage Hip Hop. For the month of December, we'll be running the best of Heritage Hip Hop on our Facebook page. Please come out and support. Let us know what was your favorite episode or freestyle or show. We also ask that you look for the next episode of the Mic Council, which is our Red Table Talk, our view, our The Real, which talks about hip hop culture. And our new episode is the Mic Council. Where do we go from here? Highlighting the 5% Nation and where are they when it comes to being recognized in hip hop, and what do they feel about society as it is right now? So to everybody out there watching, listening, and supporting Heritage Hip Hop, we thank you very much. This is Karev saying peace, and we out.